Welcome everyone, Man bringing another RSL video. So today we will take on floors 31 through 39 with our HP Burn CC comp, and then we will take on the Frost Spider. Let's get started. So we use the same HP burn CC comp we did in floors 31 through 39 that we have through all the normal floors so far. And you can check out floors 1 through 10 or 11 through 20 video if you're interested in those builds. But for the Frost Spatter, we start off here with Blind Seer and Immortal and Resilient set. She has 53,000 HP, a little over 2,100 attack, a little over 3,200 defense at 257 speed with 404 resistance. Her skills, not booked A1, a chance of decrease in turn meter. Her A2, not booked either, but worth booking. Places block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns, and then places a shield equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. I did have her at much more HP before, but I needed to get her faster, so that's why she's lost a little HP. And then also equally worthwhile booking, but revives all dead allies by 35% HP and places a block damage buff on all allies except for this champion for 1 turn. So worth booking, but not necessarily a priority book, at least among the Legos I have. And she does have a nice 34% defensive aura in all battles. Her masteries, we came down the defensive tree to give her as much resistance as possible so that she can revive and or not get blocked from placing block buffs or debuffs. And also the support tree here down to lasting gifts to extend any buffs that she casts. So that is Blind Seer. Next, the man of the hour is Draxar. He is in a regen and perception because I didn't like the way his stats came out in lifesteal. But almost 51,000 HP, next to no attack, but 4,800 defense with 216 speed and 325 accuracy. Draxar is one of those few Legos that you don't really need to book. I mean, it benefits him, but attacks one enemy 3 times with a 30% chance placing an HP burn debuff, and heals this champion by 20% of damage inflicted if the target is under an HP burn. So you'd like to do that, but it's all damage, so it's not extending your chances, so not really necessary to book. Attacks all enemies, a 40% chance of placing revoke. You can get it up to 60. And then this chance increases to 100% if the target is under an HP burn, and also places a 50% increased attack debuff for 2 turns if the provoke debuff is placed. And then lastly, and it would be nice to book this as well, but has a 55% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 2 turns on the attacker when hit. So when he gets hit, you know, you can get that up to, what's that, 75%, but 55 is still pretty good, especially when you get in a long fight where you're going to have way more than 1 or 2 rounds with the boss. This champion's resistance increases by 10 for every enemy under HP burn debuff. That stacks up to 50, and then he actually has a nice accuracy aura of 70% in all battles. That's why we don't have super high accuracy on him. Since he is the one of our few DPS type champions, we came down the offensive tree. Since he's got a 3-hitter, we went with Helm Smasher. And then we went down the defensive tree to give him lower defense, and Retribution to give him counterattacks. So that is Draxar. And then we have Resin here. He's actually in a Savage and 2 off pieces at the moment. He has 45,000 HP. Don't care about his attack, but 3,700 defense. Only 185 speed, but 100% crit rate with 270 accuracy. He is fully booked, but he attacks an enemy 3 times, has a 20% chance of removing a random buff from the target. It hits fairly hard. Attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing decreased defense and a 25% weaken. Fully booked to give us 100%, as long as he's got enough accuracy. And then attacks all enemies and decreases the turn meter by 100%. Unfortunately, even when it's fully booked, it's on a 6-turn cooldown. And then he has ally resist in arena battles, which you're probably not really going to use, maybe in a go second team. Since he's got that 3-hitter again, offensive tree down here to Helm Smasher, and then we went with a little more resistance, but still the counterattacks on the defensive side. So that is Resin. Next we have Sill. We've seen her relentless and perception sets. Almost 65,000 HP, almost 3,000 defense, 200 speed, and a reasonable amount of accuracy and resistance. Decreased speed, fully booked a 1. Chance of stunning, fully booked a 2. And revives all allies and places ally protection with a fully booked a 3. And her 10% heal passive. And then her masteries again, defensive tree down here to unshakable for more resistance, and the support tree. And that is Sill. And then also we have Burgess. Burgess built more for Scarab King, but he is in a destroy set and a mortal with 67,000 HP, almost 2,800 defense, 207 speed, and 319 resistance. He has a fully booked A1 where he can place a reflect damage for 2 turns. He has a fully booked, which is really easy to book, A2, which places a continuous heal, a 30% increased speed buff, and a 30% reflect damage buff on a target ally for 3 turns, which generally you like him to be the only one standing, so he does that. And then ally protection and places an increased defense on this champion. This is why he can solo. And then his passive effect places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP for 2 turns whenever this champion loses 10% or more of their HP from a single hit. And then on the active effect, places a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns every time their HP drops below 50%. And that does require 2 books, but it is fully booked. And then he has a defense in dungeons or a 33%. Since he's kind of built a solo and you want to get things faster, ideally you'd probably want to go down the defensive tree, but we went offensive route to War Master for when he does do solo stuff. And we went to support tree, grabbing Spirit Haste, because chances are your allies are all gone, and it might be designed that way. And he gains an extra 24 speed and a chance to extend all the buffs that he's casting, hopefully on himself. So those are the 5 champs there that were used to beat the Frostbiter. Have a nice day.